Things my ex did, but I still stayed. There were times where he smelled so bad that I had to force him to shower and brush his teeth. He would make me pay for literally everything and would ask me for money to buy me gifts. If I wanted to go over to his house, he would tell me that the only way I could be there was if I cleaned his whole house. I would literally have to sweep, mop, wash dishes, do the laundry, everything. He would threaten to break up with me if I didn't let him use my car because he didn't have one. And sometimes he would hide my car keys so that I couldn't go anywhere, which made me be late for either school or work. He was also a really bad driver, so one time when he borrowed my car, he hit a wall and then part of my bumper just came off. And I told my parents that it was me. He also forced me to stop talking to my friends, and then he would tell me to my face that they were so pretty and that he wished he could date them instead of me. He also refused to get a job, and he would wait all day outside of my job until my shift finished so that I could buy him stuff. He would also try to control what I wore and would get mad if my outfit was showing too much or if it was showing too little. He would always talk about how we should join the gym, and when we did, all he would do was either stare at other girls or talk about how much better they were than me. I'm not even kidding. There would be so many times when he would be like, go up to that girl and ask her what she does to work out so you can look like her. He would also ask me to write his essays, and when I would say no, he would say how stupid I was, and then he would talk about how he was going to break up with me. He would always make plans with me and then would ditch me to go hang out with his friends. And the worst part about this was, let's say that we had planned to go golfing, he would ditch me and go golfing with his friends. He would also bring his dirty clothes to my house and make me do his laundry because he said that that was all I was good for.
The things that many suffer in the name of love is mind-blowing. Love is supposed to be soft, kind, easygoing, and gentle, to name a few. As women, it's best to remain single than to be in a struggle love relationship. Before I continue, let's hear from a few more ladies as they share their experience.
Things that my exes did and I still stayed. The first one, I caught him in the morning in the same bed with his baby mama, and he was like, well, when the baby mama visits, they have to sleep in the same bed. Nothing really happens, it's just sleeping, and they're doing it for the bonding with the child. And I still stayed.
Things my ex-boyfriend did to me and I still stayed with him. Starting out strong, he would urinate in bottles when he was too lazy to get up and use the bathroom when playing his PS4, and he would hide them in his closet. He cheated on me with a 13-year-old. He hacked into my social media accounts and would block men that I knew. He traded corn of me on Instagram with other men. He hacked into my social media accounts and would pretend to be me and not let me have them back. Tried to run my car off the road because I wouldn't do stuff with him in the car. Told me I looked ugly prom night and made me leave when I was out having a really good time and dancing with my friends. Would take pictures of my bank cards and steal my money. Ditched me on my birthday to go sell illegal substances.
Things my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed. On my birthday, we got into a fight, so he threw my present into oncoming traffic. He made me sleep on FaceTime with him every single night because he thought I would just text boys all night. One time when we were hanging out, I caught him cheating, and he ran upstairs, locked himself in his mom's room and was saying he was gonna off himself. I invited him camping one time with my family, and he woke me up in the middle of the night, and he was threatening to go wander around in the woods. And it was like 3 a.m. So I had to beg him all night to stay awake all night to make sure he didn't leave. He would go through like my texts with my family. Like no one else, but always like my mom and my dad and my sister. One time we went mini golfing and I wasn't taking the game serious enough, and so he stormed off and left. And I still don't know where he went to this day. Whenever I would post like a selfie on my story, he would remake the same selfie and post it on his story mocking me. Whenever we would get into a fight, he would turn his location on and go to his ex's house. This one girl had texted him and said, if you bring me a Diet Coke, I'll give you a kiss. So he did, and I'm pretty sure I was at his house, and then after I found out about it the next day from all his friends, and he tried to gaslight me and tell me that we weren't exclusive. One time, we got into a fight in physics class, so he broke up with me during that class. He would mock my family members or make fun of them and like talk crap on them to me. I could make like 4 more of these, but here is the makeup for today. Love you all.
Things that my exes did and I still stayed, except it progressively gets worse. Anytime I would fall asleep while texting him, I would get like 40 different text messages about how he was insecure and asking if I was out cheating, even though he definitely had my location. So every time I would literally have to apologize for sleeping. During the talking stage, this guy would jokingly talk about how I needed to delete all my Instagram posts. You know the mental like, oh, I saw it, now you can delete it. It was that. Fast forward to when we locked in now, he had my password because I had nothing to hide, but then he proceeded to go and archive all of my Instagram posts. I wasn't even on Instagram like that, so I found out like a week later. He lied and claimed that he never did it. So this guy played basketball, as most of them did. I definitely have a type. After one of his games, he got these two girls' numbers. I saw him talking to them, so I obviously asked. He was like, oh, it's not like that, you didn't hear the conversation. And he told me that I would be seriously stupid if I thought that he would cheat on me. This guy asked me if I was okay with him going out with his girl best friend on Valentine's Day because she was going through a bad breakup and he needed to be there for her. So I obviously told him like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. He ended up gaslighting me into thinking that I was a bad person for not letting him go. Not only did I end up apologizing, but I let him go. So this is the same guy that said I was stupid if I thought that he would cheat on me. I bought him an Olive Garden gift card for his birthday, and he used that gift card to take another girl on a date. He's the same guy that archived all of my Instagram posts, but whenever we would go on dates, he would do gross things as a joke. The main thing being pretending to fart whenever like a waiter came, which one day I just got tired and I asked him to stop because it was gross and it was not funny. Literally did not speak to me for 3 days because I told him to stop. This one guy would send me workout videos on YouTube. Those videos I'd be like, oh, how to grow your boobs in 10 minutes. Not only would he send them to me, but he would FaceTime me while I did them. And I know I let a lot slide, but this last one truly takes the cake. So we're back to basketball / Olive Garden guy. I'm at his house and I peep that there is a hickey on this man's neck. It wasn't for me, so obviously I go pressing him like, what's on your neck? He tells me that he burnt himself with a curling iron. For reference, this man has short type 4 hair.
He used to send me pictures of other girls on Instagram and tell me that I would look so much better if I did my hair or my nails or whatever like the girls in the picture. Yeah. Namely, Jordana Rianne, you know, from Love Island. He would send me her all the time, to the point where I literally blocked the poor girl because every time I saw her on my explore page, it would make my asshole itch. He used to compare me to other girls all the time, actually. One time I was cleaning out my makeup drawer whilst we were on FaceTime. I was showing him all the makeup that I'd like accumulated in storage, and do you know what this man said to me? He looks at all my makeup and he goes, you know, my ex-girlfriend was naturally pretty. She didn't need all of that. Bro. True story. One time I was on the train on the way to go see him and I had a full-on panic attack. And now I'm thinking about it, that was probably my subconscious telling me to not go and meet this guy. But anyway, I'm on the train and I mean like sat on the floor, complete stranger sat cradling me, holding my hand, wiping the tears off my face. Not even funny, but you just have to laugh. And no joke, I get off the train, go to meet him. Obviously I tell him what just happened. This guy did not care. He was like, oh, okay. I actually think he laughed at one point and made a comment like, oh, you're probably just emotional because you're coming on your period. Yeah. Oh, and not only that, he had tried to call me a couple times whilst I was on the train. Obviously, I was kind of busy at the time, so, you know, I didn't answer. And he got mad at me because I didn't answer his calls whilst I was having a panic attack. He used to make really inappropriate, kind of degrading comments about me to his friends whilst I was saying that. Or sometimes we'd be out, again, table full of people, and he would just blurt out private, personal information about me that I had literally asked him not to share with anyone. But did he care? No. Just announce it. And I would literally tell him, you know, it's really embarrassing when you do that in front of people. Like, can you not? The next time we were out, you do the exact same thing.
I must say that I truly sympathize with all of these women who have suffered in the name of love. As the saying goes, you accept what you think you deserve. This saying is true because the moment one feels like they're being dealt with incorrectly, they will naturally want to stand up for themselves. But sometimes because one is so much in love, they don't want to get on their partner's wrong side, and so they choose to sit and sup up the hurt and disrespect. When one does this, sooner or later, they will start seeing the negative behavior of their partner as something normal. What some of these men do is play on the mind of the women. So they may cause you to start feeling insecure about your facial features or about your body, or they may just put you down in whatever way possible. So you start thinking that you're not good enough. I can't count the amount of times I've heard situations of men telling their wives that they will be doomed if they ever leave because no other man will want a woman with small children, or no one will want a woman with stretch marks, etc. So these men use manipulative tactics to make you feel less than, to make you feel small and depleted, so you can be fully dependent on them. When I say dependent on them, I'm not talking about finances, but rather I'm referring to emotional dependence. You start feeling as though you need to be validated by him. So it's like all your confidence now depends on him. So if he tells you that you're nothing, slowly you'll start believing that. Slowly as the days progresses, you hear the voice in your head telling you that indeed you are nothing. And this is why I'm not against affirmations. The same way in which when negativity is spoken to us, we sometimes subconsciously keep hearing those negativity in our brains, and if we're not careful, we may start believing those negative thoughts. So likewise, when one affirms positive things about themselves and their situation, that will be programmed in their subconscious, and sooner rather than later, they will start believing those positive affirmations. You'll find yourself actually believing that you're beautiful, that you're a blessing, that you're perfectly unique. On this note, if you haven't already, be sure to check out my video on positive affirmations. Ladies, Matthew from high school doesn't need to be your husband. I don't care if you've been with him for 5+ years. I don't care that he was your first. What I care about is that you thrive and be the best and happiest version of yourself with or without a man. Many women, no matter how full of potential, no matter how beautiful they are, will settle for men who they know aren't good for them. You shouldn't have to be forcing a man to love you, or forcing a man to love you in a way that you want to be loved. If you're in a relationship, there is nothing wrong with letting your man know your expectations of him towards you, but you shouldn't be begging and pleading and trying to prove your worth to him. A man who loves you will want to show you love in a way that resonates with you. So don't settle for the first person that shows interest. Don't stay in a toxic relationship just so you can say, at least you have a man. Having no man is better than having a toxic man. And if you're going through a rocky relationship right now, a relationship that you know in your heart and mind that you need to break free from, I know it won't be easy, but trust me when I say it will be worth it. You need to let go and heal. Heal from the trauma that he has caused you. Try some self-help tactics, and if those don't work, then don't be afraid to reach out to a professional for help. Okay, ladies, that's all for today's video. Until next time, stay feminine and sweet.